We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to Advertising Champions. Advertising Champions, your go-to destination for insights into the dynamic world of marketing. I'm your host, Tony Stanol, and today we're talking with Mary Rooney Armand, who is with ButterflyLiving. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, we were talking before, you said you have a background in marketing, and now you're a writer and podcaster. So tell us a little about your journey, and then I'd like to drill down into marketing with you a little bit.
Sure. So I was a marketing director. I also worked in television sales and marketing in the 90s. And I had children, took a break. And 5 years ago, I launched a blog, ButterflyLiving.org. But the world had changed since the 90s, as you know. And so I had to rediscover marketing as it functions today. So that's what I've been working on. And the blog now reaches, thousands of readers. And I collaborate with other writers. And I feature them on the blog as well.
Right. And is it a nonprofit or a for-profit cause?
It's a nonprofit. Yes. It's faith-based nonprofit.
Right. And so you have other writers on the blog, and you post their work as well as your own?
Correct. Yes. I feature writers, I write, and I feature other authors.
Gotcha. And what types of issues are you getting into these days? I know there's a lot going on in the world, as there usually is, but
I have, and this ties into what we were talking about, branding. My brand is basically encouragement in personal development, spiritual formation, parenting, and relationships. So all of the articles that I post fall into those 4 categories. And there is lots going on and lots to write about in those categories.
Right. And it's all about the branding, in the course of a narrative. I mean, behind you have life-changing stories as your kind of is that your kind of your mission statement?
Yes. Well, that's a book that me and 34 authors published last year. And we've donated almost $3,000 to Compassion International, which is in the business of changing lives. They go across the world and they reach out to children living in poverty. So that book is a collaboration out of Butterfly Living. If you think about the butterfly, we're talking about branding, right? The butterfly lives, it's an old, ugly worm, and then it comes out of the chrysalis and it's this beautiful new life butterfly. And so that's what the name's all about. How can you live transformed? So that's what the articles are about. That's what the book is about. The devotional that's behind me, life-changing stories as well. So everything ties back into living like the butterfly, living free, living transformed, not living stuck.
And how would you define your brand, if you want to describe that?
Well, the motto is to be encouraged. So whatever we put out ties into encouragement. And whatever your brand is, for example, if I love lavender, but my brand is truck parts. Okay, so the mistake we make a lot of times is I'm going to use lavender because I like it to promote truck parts, and it just doesn't work. So I try to always decide if what I'm working on fits into the brand of encouragement. And again, we could talk about politics. Is politics encouraging? Not really. So I try to keep the subjects we cover under the banner of encouragement.
Right. And give us an example of, some, example of how you touched a life or were able to cause someone to, do something different or better than they were doing.
Oh, that's a great question. So I hope I touch lots of lives because lots of people are reading the articles. One article in particular, and because I'm going through these stages of life, the articles in parenting that I've written through the years mirror my parenting. So I'm an empty nester almost. And so I wrote an article recently about how do you get over that stage of life when you invest all that time in your children. And so I'll hear back from other empty nesters and I'll say, you still have a purpose. So yes, you're a great mom or dad. What's the next phase of life? You have to pivot. So your identity, yes, you're still a mom, but that's not all you are. So I'll have people send a comment and say, thank you. I was stuck, right? You get stuck sometimes. So that's one example of I've heard feedback from people directly impacted. You're right. I'm not just a mom or dad. There is what else can I do? It's kind of exciting. How can I pivot? How can I find a new purpose? So that's current, something I recently wrote that has impacted people. And the book, Life-Changing Stories, my goodness, we're hearing so many. I mean, people are really transparent in the book, sharing stories of great grief. So it's really touching people that are in that spot themselves and providing some type of hope. Oh, you made it through. I can too.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us today, and we'll look forward to reading the book and your blog as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a delight.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Advertising Champions. You could find out more about us and Butterfly Living if you look up this podcast on dailynewsnetwork.com. We'll see you next time.
We've been around for 16 years, working with clients, with thousands of clients. We're working with agencies to be able to scale them and grow them and provide them services that would cost them way more than it would for them to do it themselves. Anything oriented around lead generation, video creation, web design, we're full service, so we can really serve most people.